All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you to be here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So straight out the box, if everybody can hear me loud and clear, drop me a 1 in the chat. Let me know you're all ready to go. Good morning, Beneath. JC, what's going on? Good morning. Joy, good morning. All right. Let's get right to it. So just checking in on the fundamentals and what we had, right? We know that yesterday on the 1st, we had ADP that came through in the United States, right? Private sector jobs came through, missed forecast of 149 came in at 113. Great Britain we had out of the UK, the PMI came through, missed at 44.8 on 45.2 was the forecast. Switzerland, the manufacturing PMI came in at 40.6 on 45, right? So we had some misses there. We had ISM manufacturing PMI came through for the United States, missed at 46.7. So what is ISM manufacturing PMI? Above 50 indicates industry expansion, right? So it's the leading indicator for economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy. So it's a survey of about 300 purchasing managers, which ask respondents to rate the relative level of business conditions, including employment, production, new orders, prices, supplier deliveries, and inventory. So that missed yesterday. Jolt's job openings, right? We've got more job openings in the United States, 9.34 million, came in at 9.55, right? And the ISM manufacturing prices came down to 45.1 or 46.2, right? And then the big news of the day yesterday that everybody was waiting on was the FOMC rate decision and statement. So the federal funds rate stayed at 5.5. They didn't raise it, but it was kind of a hawkish hold coming from the statement. But investors are putting the chances of a rate hike in December at 25% right now. So we'll continue to watch to see how it plays out. Yesterday, I didn't get the chance to see what Malcolm said from the Bank of Canada, so I'll have to check in on that. But they spoke at 4:15 yesterday, so I haven't had a chance. So I'll take a look at that later. But the main thing, again, ADP came through under, and we know that's the precursor. We know tomorrow we've got non-farm payroll in the United States, first Friday of every month. And then today, right, don't want to miss the day, Swissy CPI came through 0.1, right? So came in flat right at forecast. And then as far as the UK goes, at 8 a.m., we've got the monetary policy report coming out. We've got the policy summary, and we've got the votes and the official rate. So just like the United States, they are expected to hold at 5.25. And so we'll see what the forward guidance is coming from the BOE governor, Bailey. He'll be speaking after that. So, and then we've got here in the United States, unemployment claims coming through. The forecast is 210. So like we said, coming out of the weekend, super busy week this week, Monday through Friday, right? And then at 1 p.m., we've got Swiss National Bank Chairman Jordan speaking. Super busy, but we got a hold on rates from the United States Federal Reserve yesterday. And right now, it's only a 25% chance of rates being raised in December. Any questions on any of the fundamentals so far? Nope. All right. Trading economics, right? So that's still front page. Fed delivers another hold. Bank of England extend tightening pause, so they're expected to hold, just like we just said. German unemployment rate reaches over 2-year high in Germany. So biggest player in the Eurozone, unemployment rate reaches over 2-year high. All right. So European shares rise, fourth day dovish Fed, right? So European stocks like the fact that they held rates here in the United States. So we'll continue to watch that. Going over to the DXY, we can see here that that dollar, right, back below that weekly level, right, still range bound, but we are pushing a bit lower on the dollar today. So here's our daily look, still within that range, right? We've got a low here. We'll plug that in as support. Got a couple levels coming in, but we know it's been kind of stuck in this range for quite a little while now. So we'll continue to watch to see how that plays out. As we close out the week, again, we've got non-farm payroll tomorrow, another big report here in the United States. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this dollar, but it's looking a bit dovish right now, right? Starting out the day after yesterday's news. So we'll see what the follow through is on that as we move throughout the day and look to close out the week tomorrow. Any questions on the US dollar? Nope. All right, so let's jump into some setups. We'll start up here at the top with our Aussies, and we'll take a look at this Aussie CAD. We've got one here on the 15. We've got a 15-minute Aussie CAD that's in an 80-20 scenario, right? So we're right at that 127. We're stalling, right? Like we always say that when we get to that 118, 127 zone, after a shallow retracement, price oftentimes likes to stall, right? You get that fight between the bulls and the bears. So what we're looking for is a sell-off, okay? We know just looking from the top down, okay, we found where price held, right? We got a double bottom at that 85.96 level. So overall, it is still long-term have been moving bearish, but now we got to move to the upside back above that 88.25 level. So we are putting in some highs. So we're moving higher in the zone. So you can see how on the daily, we got that 382 push and it moved down, but it failed to break out. So the question is, do we settle around that 786 level, right? Where we're getting kind of a harmatic pattern to play out, right? We're getting a fight between the bulls and the bears between the AB boundary. So we've got to push up right now. Now that not just stochastic momentum is up to 96%, right? So it's pushing kind of high. We know that we go to the 4 hour here. We can see how we're pushing, right? So we know we've been following this one for a while to the downside. Beautiful pullbacks, but you can see where we settled in and we're getting a move back to the upside. So we'll see how long, we'll see if that move can sustain itself. I'm looking for a correction at some point, right? So this is the 15-minute. We'll see if we hold in this zone and we move back down. So use your confirmations, trend line breaks, clouds, whatever you're using for your additional confirmation on that. And we'll see if we can get that correction, right? So we see that we've gotten a surge to the upside with the Aussie, but we are in a key zone technically. Any questions on this Aussie CAD 15-minute setup? Nope, good. All right, pretty clear cut. So let's see what happens. All right, they're moving pretty good right now. So just like I said, use your confirmations. Another one is our Aussie Swiss. Let's take a look at that. All right, so we know that this has been moving long, right? Okay. We know that. That's your 4 hour larger play. We also had it drawn up on the 1 a while ago. So we know we got 2 TPs, actually 3, right through the top of that 8 boundary, and it's been moving long. All right, so that one was some time ago. That setup But now we're starting to push a little bit. So we're looking at down here to this 30-minute, okay, where we're up around that zone. We already tapped that 118 and got a reaction. Now it's trying to figure itself out. Okay, so you got it setting up on the 30, and then you've got it, okay, setting up on your 15 too. Okay. So we're pushing long right now. Let's see, right? Let's see, right? We're pressing right back up into that zone that it left prior to making that move to the downside. We're moving back to retest that area. So that's a possible setup there for 80-20 on the 15 on the Aussie Swiss. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
All right, Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, bro. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, man. Always glad to be here. Always glad to be here with the crew. Anything fundamentally that you caught? We talked about the Fed, holding rates. We know we've got the Bank of England this morning and their rate statement. So anything else out there? I know you've been following Japan closely.
Yeah, no, nothing from Japan just yet. We might see some stuff come through soon though.
Okay. All right. So yeah, a lot of back and forth, man. We've got two wars going on now, right? It's amazing how the first one kind of disappeared off the front pages all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of media. So well, just know that we got wars going on two fronts. It's a lot, man. I mean, it's ever since that pandemic in 2020, it seems like it's just been just a whole lot of stuff, in regards to, just globally. So hey, but one thing that I know is these 80-20 play, the 80-20s play out regardless. So we're gonna keep trading it. So this is the Aussie Swiss. Let's take a look at the Aussie NZD. All right. So if we come into the weekly, right, we can see we're pushing into some highs there, right? Good. It's getting good momentum. Okay. Good momentum, but we're coming into some pretty important levels. Stochastic is overbought, and we're right back into that weekly zone. Okay, we're getting a bit of a reaction. So this is one we've been following on the 4. Okay. Way up there in our red zone, right? But we haven't gotten stopped out yet, so that one's still in play. So it's rejecting that zone at 109.25 or 109.15, those weekly levels. It's struggling there. So the idea, right, is for this to continue to move down. So this trend line has to get adjusted because it made a higher high, like so. Okay. There. So if you're waiting on trend line breaks, we got a bit of a false breakout on that trend line. It made a higher high, but it's still within our range. Hasn't hit that D extension yet. And we'll see. We'll see if we can get it to move down. So that idea is still active. Any questions on the Aussie NZD? No?
No, sir. Patiently waiting on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. We need that. We need that to play out. So that's the Aussies. I want to check in on this CAD Swissy. Because we got close, everybody, but it's struggling at that. Actually got stopped out of this one because I moved my stop up in the profit. We're struggling at that 65.53 level, right? Still looking to get that 382 or possibly higher. But for those of you who still have that trade active, we're almost there, right? So it took a while, but it's been some good price action. But you can see here on the daily that there's a longer term move, right? If we can get above that 65.53 level, we can see it broke but couldn't close. It closed, but then it came right back below it. So it's struggling at that level. If we get a bullish push, right, we could be in for a ride, or at least back up all the way back up to the top of the range. So we'll continue, have to go back and read what the Bank of Canada, head of the Bank of Canada said yesterday. And continue to follow oil, right? Follow what's going on with the oil prices. We know that heavily impacts Canada. So, and then Friday, let me see. Do we have employment data for them too on Friday? I know off the time it falls in line with the United States. Yep, we've got employment data for Canada tomorrow too at 8:30, along with U.S. non-farm payroll. So we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe we get some momentum off that cash Swiss for it to continue. But I moved my stop up a little bit too close on that. That's that. Any questions on the cash Swiss? No. All right. Okay. So while we're looking at these CADs, to take a quick look at the CAD yen. So on that 30-minute, right, we're still running on that 30-minute 80-20. Okay. So we're through 2 TPs, TP3 actually through the top of that 8 boundary, right? So we look for this to flip bullish. Okay, got a 382 tap there. So that one maybe getting long off that 382. So that's starting to, it's broken that downtrend line there. Okay. So we'll see if it wants to take the ride there. Now we've got to keep in mind that this is following a larger move that we have drawn up, right? So we've got the dollar yen that pushed all the way up for 1,380 pips. And now, right, we're trying to see if this CAD yen are stochastic on the dailies in the buy zone. We're trying to get that continued momentum, right, to hit that 900 pip target. So smaller moves can lead you to larger moves on that. Any questions on the CAD yen? Continue to see if we can get upside. No. All right. Let's take a look at this Swiss yen, right? So this one, okay, played out beautifully off the 80-20. I'm looking for this. Ryan, you think we're gonna get a continuation long on this one? I'm thinking so.
I do. I'm going through some recent articles out of the Bank of Japan, and that move down was them buying bonds
Okay.
yesterday. But I do think we're going to get a continuation to the upside in the short term. It's starting to leak out that they do plan on changing the policy come spring.
Okay.
Bank of Japan, but
Mm-hmm.
they need some things to come into alignment. So I think we'll still get this last rally to the upside. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. So I'll be ready to flip this one at the end of the week. But that one played out good, right? So these 80-20s, whether you're trading, the 80-20 C to Ds, right? They put you, everybody, right, that's been with us for a while, you can see how the Fibonacci framework that we teach, it puts you it does so many things for you, right? In regards to determining your direction, where to get in, where to get out, risk to reward. Okay. It's all within the framework, right? If you follow it. So you had an 88 pip stop to the downside, right? You had 164, 223 pips. So if you took the ride to that TP2, right, you had, was that 2.5, 2.5 or so to 1 on that, right? So it automatically puts you in a favorable risk to reward. Okay. Your C to D moves puts you in, more so those 3-to-1s and things like that. 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s. But you can see how it's kind of like the one-stop shop for all things that you hear about trading. Everybody follow me on that? You guys follow me there? Because that's very, 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 very important. All right, very, very important. All right, so that's the Swiss yen. Yes, yes, I see the yes is coming in. Yeah, repeat that one more time. So it just gives you the framework. So a lot of the things that you hear about trading, right? That especially when you start trading, you're trying to pull it all together, before you invest in any type of educational framework. And sometimes it's still all over the place, but um your fibs help you, right? The way that we teach it and the sweet spots that we trade, right? There's a method to the madness, right? There's a reason for everything that we do. So when you see us line a fib up and we line our sweet spots up, it's going to help you, right, in regards to determining your overall direction. Okay, where to get in, where to get out, your risk to reward, and from your risk to reward, because of where we place our stops and things like that, you can figure out your risk management as well. So it's kind of like the one-stop shop for everything. Okay, direction, where to get in, where to get out, risk to reward, risk management. Everything could be set up off it in one setup. Using that one fib and trading those sweet spots is pretty much everything that you hear about trading in regards to the keys to being successful, in trading and the things that you need to take into account before you take a trade. Okay, so yeah, you can really do a consistent job of grading each and every trade that you take, using this framework. So that's that. EuroCAD. I believe I saw something set up on this EuroCAD. Oh, that was just checking in, right? So just going and checking in on that. This one, I don't know if anybody played it. I was discussing this with Ryan yesterday. We really need to go back to putting a small position at that 118 and a 127, like breaking it up. I keep missing targets. I keep missing on entries, but that one came down to off that 118, 127 zone, right? Got caught in between and moved down to TP1. And then on the 30-minute, right, it's pretty much the same alignment on your 30. So just wanted to check that one out real quick. So it didn't take for me. I had my sell limit placed right below that 127, but it did make a good move, and that's a real decent move on the EuroCAD, right? That's over 100 pips. That's a big mover, that EuroCAD. So that's on a 30-minute chart. So I don't know if anybody was paying attention, right? Using confirmations. You had time to be in front of your computer playing trend line breaks and stuff like that, but that was a decent one. That was a decent move out of that zone. That zone is pretty consistent. And it's not, for those of you who've been trading for a while, it's really nothing to take for granted. Being able to find a consistent spot in the market where you can get that reaction on a pretty consistent basis. Is not something it's not something that you find, should I say. So yeah, so that's the EuroCAD. I want to take a look at our forever trade here, this Euro USD, as this DXY is moving down. I'm thinking we might finally get the momentum, right? If we get back above that 106, we've got some other highs too now that's coming, because it's been ranging so much. But you can see, right, we have not hit that stop. Right? So you ask yourself, hey, if I'm not over leveraged, right? If it's not tying up my account because I'm not over leveraged and it hasn't hit my stop and the market only moves three ways, well, if it doesn't hit my stop, then I'm hoping, right, that it'll hit my take profit instead. So this one is still active and running. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while. But maybe we can break through, right? We've got a high here, we've got a swing high. We've got a swing high here, so we could put those in. This is on the 4-hour. Right. So you got a level there. So this is more giving you a decent zone now. Okay. So let's see. Right, let's see if we can get the continued momentum to the upside, at least take us to that 382. Okay. So it's just amazing how things play out in this zone, right? Can't say it enough. You had the ECB that took, quite a dovish tone. You had the dollar, a lot of positive data. Think about it. Positive GDP data, positive consumer spending data. It's been quite strong, but look at what it's doing. Okay. Right. Very, very powerful zone technically on the charts. So you're having that fight, right? We often say, hey, it'll stall. You have that fight between the bulls and the bears, and then it's going to pick the direction that it wants to go. Right now, it's moving back, right? But it's done that before. So let's continue to see what happens. We've got non-farm payroll tomorrow. Let's see what those numbers now. We know the ADP missed, private sector jobs missed, and we'll see what happens with non-farm tomorrow. Any questions on the Euro USD?
No, sir.
All right, let's take a look at the dollar CAD. See if that's working out for us. So here we are on this 30-minute, and we're finally getting the move. Right? We're finally getting the move down. Did it hit the stop? No. Is it all over the place? Yes. That's okay. We don't control all of this, how it gets to our destination. Right? And I say that over and over and over again because that was the part, that was tearing my trading account up, right? I wouldn't let the trades run. Anybody have that problem? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? You have to think well, in the beginning, right, is because I was over leveraged and didn't realize proper risk management. So it became frustrating, because I'm at work looking at my phone. I'm on my lunch break looking at my phone, right? The kids practice looking at my phone, right? Because I was over leveraged, right? So risk management, and trade psychology go hand in hand, right? So it can bounce all around. It's okay. It's okay. I know what I can lose before I ever get into the trade, and I have to be comfortable with that calculation. Okay. So you can see it's moving down. Okay. Now keep in mind, these are bigger moves, right? This is not what you see every day on most of your YouTube channels. 104 pip moves, 200 pip moves. That's not typically what you see. Okay. So you have to be patient with us. You have to be patient with our methodology. You have to let it play out. So we're not taking, 20 trades a day, 15 trades a day. It's not that type of party in the inner circle. It's not. Okay. Even when we find setups on the 5-minute, because of the framework that we're trading within, they still take time to play out. Right? Price and time is very, very important. So we'll see, right? We'll see if this continues. If we continue to get downward pressure on the dollar. If we do, that'll take us right to that 382 and that 100 pip target, right? So you can see, because we're trading, we know, hey, it's in at 1%. We know that's what we could lose, or 0.5% or 2%. Even at 3%, you got to lose 33 trades in a row. Has anybody on here ever lost, that's been with us for a while, lost 33 80-20s in a row? No. All right. All right.
Nope.
So yeah. So that's at 3%, right? 20 in a row. No. Not if you stand disciplined and you're trading that zone. And that's at 5%. You would have to lose 20 trades in a row. Right? Okay. The key is control it. 1%, 2%, 0.5%, right? Because if your account gets down 50%, right? You're trading with higher risk. You get down 50%, you have to make 100% of it back to get to break even, right? So we don't want to do that. So we know, that we can lose, we can risk 5% per trade, things like that, but we don't do it, right? We don't do it because we might be in multiple positions for a total risk of 3%, 5%, right? But not one position at 5%, right? But that's up to you and your trade plan. Okay, so that's the dollar CAD. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
All right, Joyce said you got a 3 loss and pause rule. It's excellent, right?
I love that.
I do too. I do too. Okay. So, and if you're trading for some of the prop firms, they've got daily limits anyway, so they're gonna shut you down, right? If you get out of control, they'll shut you down for the day, most of them. So, where did I run that fib from? Right here. Right here off this low. All right. Okay. And lately, right, when I'm working through these time frames, using the yep, no problem, Reese. Using the technology, right? If you're going through your time frames, you mark your support and resistance levels, just go through and use, right? If you have it as part of your package, go to the fibs and just scan it, right? If you're trying to go through your charts quickly, just scan it and see, right? Do I have a C to D move? Do I have a 80-20 move on any of my time frames? Right? Take advantage. Use the technology. Let's take a look at this dollar yen because it's probably a chance to take a look at it. See what we've got going on. Because I know I had so here we are, right? Topping out around that level. Okay. So you can see how it pushed up. And now, you're getting some corrective action. Now it pushed it through. I had a tighter stop on this dollar yen on the 4-hour, and it took me out. But we still haven't gotten. Been keeping an eye on this one because we haven't hit the D. I didn't keep it super wide. I wanted to see because we broke above that 150, so I kept it a little tighter, right? So that one didn't play out for me. But this 4-hour fib is technically still active. So typically, I'll keep it. I was just a little skeptical of this dollar yen around that 150. So typically you keep it here, right? I just ran it a little tighter, but that's typically where you're at, right? You would still be active if you played that traditional stop at the D extension, but I didn't. So I got stopped out. So really, right, on this 4-hour fib, what is that, 152.30 minus 149.48. 49.48. So like 282, something like that. On a wider 4-hour. Okay. Giving it more room because it's a big move. If you get that sell-off to the downside, right, you're looking at 649. So you're still in a favorable risk to reward, right? So we'll continue to watch that. I don't know. But if we get the trend line breaks in the lower low, right? Because if you look here, off of that push off the trend line, you've created a low, right? So on your 4-hour, you've got a low here. Okay. So if we break trend line and break and close below, then we're probably going to be moving down. But we're holding above this trend line. We made a higher high. So just continue to keep an eye on that dollar yen, everybody. All right. Looking in at the might as well take a look at this dollar Swiss. Okay. See what we got going on, right? So this was the 80-20 from a long time ago. Okay. So yes, we do have wider stops, right? Some of our plays. I know sometimes it takes some getting used to. But the strike rate ends up higher. Are you trading smaller, right, than you would if you were using a tighter stop? Yes. But right, the strike rate is higher because you're giving your trade room to breathe. So you can see we almost got a TP2 there, right, which is 296 pips before it made that U-turn. But the larger play that we're looking at now and we're correcting is, right, we posted this on this dollar switch from the daily. So if you're playing a long-term swing, right, and it's moved quite a ways, it's broken above that 90.16 level since we posted it. So we're getting a check back, right? So this is a classic break and retest. Right, when you look at the larger move, so we'll see if it holds above that 90.16, see if it pauses and then continues. But if we look at a bullish dollar over the long term, then that could possibly move, right? And it seems like, wow, that I don't see it moving that long. Well, we just had a dollar yen that moved 1,380 pips, right? And we're in the middle of a CAD yen long-term move that's 900 pips, right? The yen, so the dollar Swissy, if we get a correction in the dollar and a continued bullish momentum, it could definitely move 665 pips to the upside. So, we'll see, Joy, when I can afford. I want to pay someone to watch the charts, like how they pay people to stand in line for shoe releases. For sure. I know, right? That would be beautiful. So many opportunities, right? We don't catch them all, but it's cool. It's cool. Here was a 15-minute setup, right? On the 80-20 there. Didn't catch that one. But you can see how it consistently plays out, right? You get the stalling type of price action, and then you can see here that the bears went out. Okay. So even on the smaller 15-minute play, right, you got 50 pips there, 65, 67 pips to the TP2. Any questions on this dollar Swissy? Nope.
No, sir.
All
Definitely a
right.
nice long-term position on that.
I think so too. I think so too. So we'll continue to wait and see. I agree with you on that one. So let's see it play out. What else? The wanted to look at this NZD dollar. Okay. So we got a new fit. I was waiting. I was trying to wait to see if that was going to push down, but it didn't. So this was your previous 4-hour 80-20, right? 172 pips or so out of that one. Then we pushed to the D. I was wondering if we were going to get a correction and a push down. Like so, if it was going to hold at that 58.39 level and then push down for 80-20, but it didn't. So it's moving long. Let's check out some things here on this. So we're back above that 58.59. So still, right, overall move to the downside, right? Is what we're looking at. So we're correcting now. Okay, everything pretty much is correcting against the dollar. So we've got some dollar weakness. So I want to take this down to the lower time frames, that level. And what do we have going on? So that pushed higher. This one's going to be interesting to see if it stays within that zone. Let's see. What do you have on the 30? You got a decent move. It's across the board. Let's see if we got anything. Nope, that's right on the 382. Let's check out the 15. So we might have something setting up here on the 15 for a move, right? We know that price, it pushes, we get that impulse move. We've got less than the 382 right here on the 15, and you can see how we're in this zone, right? So the setups become simple. Okay, in that regard, when you know what you're looking for. Okay? You know what you're looking for. So we love to see that push up a bit higher into our zone, and then we look for that breakdown to occur to give us some relief. So just be patient. Gotta love, right, the smart fib and the smart analytics. Okay, I don't know how much easier it can get. Okay, just have to know what to look for and the type of setup that you want to trade in your trade plan, right? So it's up in that 118, 127 zone now. Be beautiful, right? If we can get a test, right, of the level and then our move down. Okay. Be TP1 and our TP2. Okay. Gotta love it. Again, if you're long, then you need it. All right. Can't say it enough. If you're long, you don't want to buy from where it is now. You actually need it to move down if you're going to be long. So if you're saying, hey, I think this trend is going to continue long, that's cool. You needed to move in this direction anyway. Okay. So then you could buy. Okay. That's the whole idea behind what we do. I know it can be boring. It's the same thing over and over again. Okay. But it's exciting to make some money. Okay. So that's your NZD USD. Any questions on that setup? See what happens. Okay. If you're using, your trend lines. Okay. All right, take it straight off that low, like so. We made a higher high, just like that. Don't go through your wicks. Okay. Don't go through your wicks. You can see, right? Speed, the momentum of the market, like so. That one's still trying to form. So we'll run it like that. It's moving a bit sideways. All right, so we'll see what happens. See what happens. Love for it to push up in that zone. All right. That's all I have. Anybody have any particular pairs that they're following or that they want me to take a look at? This is a low here. All right. Go. Okay. So let's look at the S&P. See where I left off on that one. Ooh, my goodness. All right. We got that dollar tilting to the downside. We got a bit of a rally there. All right, that's right off of 50 on the daily. So we got a bit of a rally. All right, came back up above the lows. All right. Nope, did do oil. Take a quick look at it. Gotcha. All right, so here's a rally here. Okay. That's a straight A to B push. That's gonna take that A out on the 4, right? Now, that's an 80-20 if I've ever seen one. Anybody play that? I took my eyes off the S&P. My
Yes.
goodness. Who said that? Who said the yes on that? Who was that?
Joy.
Joy?
Yep.
Somebody got a post for me in the Discord. What in the world? That is
Now
a
I'm at
monster move.
417 4177.
Ah, 4177. 4177.
I was scalping it up. So I have multiple positions and this is my last one.
That's your last one. Your last one.
Yeah, I was playing the waves on the smaller time frame.
All right. So we got Joy at 4177. That's Joy. We got Reese at 4105. 4105. Lord, I need to borrow some money from both of you.
Facts.
And I'm gonna drop some sevens in this chat for
Great
Reese
work.
and Joy. Good
Great work.
job. Good job. Super proud. Look at that, right? So we know, so it's amazing, right? These 80-20s, because I don't know if any of you know this, but with your C to Ds, right, you want to make sure you have that trend direction, right? Okay, on a major fibs, right? Because we know this is making ABCDs now, but we're talking about that traditional framework of that ABCD move, like you could potentially have setting up here, right, on the S&P, right? But you gotta make sure you've got your long-term direction right. Okay. You gotta have your long-term direction right. And we don't know if that's a go yet, right? But the beauty of your 80-20 move is that trend direction really doesn't matter, that overall long-term trend direction. Okay? You just drop your fibs, and if the zone shows up, you trade it. I don't know if you guys are noticing that. It's very powerful. It's very powerful because you can ride it to your targets and be done. You're not worrying about the overall long-term trend. It's like, that's an 80-20, I'm trading it. This is the direction that is moving right now. Okay. So that's a monster move, right? Whether you were waiting on confirmations, whether you were playing a zone, you got a little bit of drawdown, you got your stop at the D extension, like so, you didn't hit it, all right? And you got your reversal. Okay, so if you're playing, your trend lines, you had it all on this setup. That's clean. That's super clean. You drop down to your lower time frames, 15-minute 5, you get an even tighter trend line, right, off that reversal. Okay. It's a beautiful move. And now, right, we're just moving long. Okay. Like so. Great job, everybody. So, hey, we continue to see that downside pressure on the dollar. Unless something crazy happens globally, things continue to escalate and we end up in that kind of that safe haven effect. And it has an impact on the stock market because of fear. We look for that to continue to move along right now. It's nice. Nice work. Nice work. All right. So let's take a look at gold, take a look at oil, and we will wrap things up. Okay. Let's see what we've got going on. So, right, double bottom off the daily, it's been moving up. Okay, we're starting to get some bullish momentum, trying to break that 1988 level. It's looking like it may do it. We're staying above the cloud on the 4. Okay. But you can see how as you move and you get lower in the time frame, how it's just kind of just moving sideways, neutral to bullish. Okay. And this is the 80-20. We haven't tapped it yet. Okay. So it's moving bullish today. Right. Starting to creep bullish, but small candles. You see that? Right. We got small candles there. So technically, on this one, we haven't gotten a 382 yet. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, if we continue to get dollar weakness, right? That's the counter currency, right? In this pair. So it'll push long. I'm not sure, if it'll continue long and break the highs. That's gonna strictly depend on that dollar. So I don't know, right? And you can kind of see in the price action that it doesn't know either. Doesn't know either.
The job report come out tomorrow, right?
Yep, we got job report that can definitely have an impact on it. Yeah, appreciate you bringing that up.
Because it was 2 reports that came out. It was the ADP and something that came out, and one was negative and one was positive. So
yeah. So it's kind of bouncing, right? So you had ADP and you had job openings.
Yeah.
The job openings report. But we got to break it at trend line, and we're pulling back a little bit. So it's just neutral right now. Technically from the 1 hour. What'd you say?
I took profit. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared. I took profit when I seen that swing form right there.
Yeah, I get it. The gold is volatile, and it's definitely fundamentally driven. So you've got the war going on. It seems to continues to escalate. Because it can move the same direction as it can, because it's such a safe haven, and we know that the dollar lately, the play has the dollar could be a safe haven, in regards to bonds and things like that, and gold can have a safe haven, but there's no return on gold, right? In regards to any type of interest or anything like that, it's strictly a safe haven. So it can be confusing. A lot of people trade it. I don't as much. I'm not a big gold trader, because of the volatility can get crazy at times. So that's neutral. I mean, we've got a trend line break, but that's kind of moving sideways in the range. So we shall see. But like Joyce said, we definitely can have a catalyst to tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, one more thing, because I'm looking at it, just popped up. When I was reading on oil this morning, they was saying that, and I'm just getting this just mixed information coming out, that they saying they getting talked down, so it might not be a lot of emphasis on the second war that's happening, because they saying it's a lot of cooling off. So could that also be impacting gold as well?
It could. It is, right? When you get fear and uncertainty, wars escalating, that's where it could just make everything a mess. So that definitely has an impact on gold. Here's oil. It's just kind of hovering at that 80. What's that? 80.94. I still long term would like to be bullish on oil. But we're holding. If I was looking at a technical play off this 4, it's deep in my zone. The risk to reward could be huge. If you trickle in a small position at this level, putting your stop below the A. But it would be a small position for me if I did that. I mean, that's retraced now 78%. That's a decent discount, and it's kind of just stalling there right now, right? So if you were playing gold to the long side, and you were looking to build positions, is at a decent retracement level now. I mean, it's taking back 78% of his move to the upside. I don't see an increase in supply anymore anywhere. Not anymore, but anywhere. I know, we're talking about reduction in production, oil production. I have to get caught up on all that stuff, but that was the last thing I heard. Ryan, have you heard anything different on that?
I haven't heard anything different, no.
No, I haven't
But
either. Now, go ahead.
I was going to say that back and forth that Joy was talking about, that is also kind of causing us back and forth there, because if they continue to try to talk down the escalation, that'll talk down any expansion or any impact on any of those oil producing countries in the Middle East, right? So that could keep oil at bay. But if things change and that escalation occurs, then right, that could definitely cause a spike.
Yeah.
So you don't think that with India buying their own production line, I mean, it won't contribute to crude?
It could. She said with India buying their own production, so they're going to start to produce, but that's time. That's a timing thing, right? Like, how long is that going to take? You know what I mean?
Okay. I thought if they was trying to get the investment, that they was probably trying to fundraise and put the ideas out there so that way to support. I was just assuming.
Yeah, and the speculation and the increase from there. We got to do some more homework on that one. As a group, do some deep diving. But we'll see. Of course, as always, what the demand is. So we need to grab a hold of some reports for demand outlooks, because we know what's going on the supply side. The question becomes that demand, for oil moving into the winter months and with the wars and everything like that. So, but from a technical perspective, if I'm bullish on oil long term from this 4 hour, right, I've got a decent correction there. We can see last time we hit a 61.8 and it got long, right? We're kind of right back and getting towards that same area. 786, 86. We got a weekly level, daily level of 79.25. That's not a bad spot, right? To put in a small position to see if it'll take off. The risk to reward is high at that level. If it continues to move down, it's going to take your A out. But that's the sweet spot there. That's that green zone. So that's all I've got on oil, just looking at it technically until I read up on more of the fundamentals on it. That's that. Let me see. What else? Anything else out there? That's it. Well, hey, decent setups, right? Coming about. We actually covered a lot this morning, right? Those Aussie setups, CAD, Swiss, Aussie NZD on the 4 hour, that Aussie CAD and Aussie Swiss was on the 15-minute for 80.20. And that NZD USD, and then the other ones that we just continue to track and follow that are already in motion. So that's that. Right. Anything to add before we close out?
No, sir. Great session, bro.
Appreciate it. Well, that's that, everybody. Hey, let's continue to follow the news of the day. 8:30. We know we've got, I believe it was 8:30. We've got the rate decision coming out of the UK, and just continuing a busy week, right? So, yep. So that's 8 o'clock, as a matter of fact. The things come out, and then we've got Governor Bailey speaking at 8:30. And yeah, so headed towards non-farm payroll tomorrow. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live pre-New York session. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.